Yhwach, the main villain of Bleach, that was only defeated due to plot convenience and because he was the villain. If Yhwach was not the villain, the chances are that he wouldn't have been defeated. He was just too overpowered. His almighty ability pretty much gave him immunity from everything that happened, and Yhwach was extremely overpowered for that. Naruto was a character which was, pretty much similar in many ways to Yhwach, but in this case, I'll make him even more similar. Naruto will be neglected by his parents, and then he'll have Yhwach's ability. How Yhwach will actually be take place in Naruto verse, I'll explain it as the what if actually starts. So let's start the what if. Naruto was neglected and had Yhwach's power. We start this off with the time of the stage of the Six Paths era. Hagoromo had recently sealed away Kaguya and her away in that moon as he by forming the Six Path Sabaku Tensei and then just sealing her away. But what Hagoromo didn't knew was there was one more man coming to Earth. He was also an Otsutsuki, Yhwach Otsutsuki. Yhwach landed on the planet as he looked around. There was one single thought in his mind. This might actually be a good harvest for the chocolate fruit. That was what Yhwach was thinking. He could sense that Kaguya and Ishiki were not there anymore. What happened? Yhwach would think in his mind as Ishiki was someone that he considered to be on his own level, and if that man was defeated, things were in trouble. As Yhwach would keep on searching for Ishiki and Kaguya, asking people about it, people would just say they don't know who Yhwach was talking about. Yhwach would not absolutely kill him as he was not, since he was too lazy to do so. But soon he would come up against someone who had the Rinnegan and chakra. Yhwach would sense that this man was also an Otsutsuki, but only half Otsutsuki, and he had the 10 tails sealed inside of him. And you are? Yhwach would ask this man, as Hagoromo would look at him. Otsutsuki, Hagoromo would say, looking at Yhwach. Oh, so you're one of my kind. So, it's actually pretty good. Can you tell me where Kaguya and Ishiki are? They have not completed the task. As Yhwach would say that, Hagoromo would look at him. They're dead. And why are you here? Yhwach Otsutsuki. No, Hagoromo would say, as his mother had told him about the kings of the Otsutsuki. Not the king, but someone on that level. As Yhwach would just look at him. So someone told you about me, probably Kaguya or Ishiki. Now that it has come to this, Yhwach took out his sword, which was completely covered in a blue light. I will just have to make you answer all my queries. As Yhwach would say that 9 Truth-Seeker orbs would appear behind Hagoromo as his Rinnegan would start to have tomoes in them. Oh, then you leave me with no choice as well. As the Jubi chakra would start emanating from Hagoromo, Yhwach would smirk as he would look at this. You fool, you think you can defeat me. Soon as that happened, Yhwach was standing above Hagoromo, with the sword on Hagoromo's neck. It's over. Now tell me all the information that you know. As Yhwach would say that, Hagoromo would smirk. He honestly thought that I didn't know that you would outclass me in every single way. I know about your ability. The Almighty. With that ability, you're pretty much invincible, aren't you? But there's something that you're not invincible to. As Hagoromo would say that, he would shine his Rinnegan. As soon as he would do that, 6 seal would appear beside Yhwach, as Yhwach would think, Shielding Jutsu. As he would think that, Hagoromo would smirk. It's over for you. I'll seal you away for eternity, and even the Almighty cannot change this. As Hagoromo would say that, and why the Almighty could not change this, because all of Yuba's chakra would be constricted, and before the Almighty could be activated, pretty much the chakra would be torn away from Yuaba's body, and it would be used to do the seal. As the seal would be complete, it would be done in a box. As Hagoromo would look at his hand, in which Yuaba had completely been sealed. I have to pass this down with Ywachs Power. He will be the one that will safeguard this. As Hagoromo would think that he would soon take away, and after generations and generations and generations, things would go on the same thing, and the box in which Yuaba was sealed in would be passed down to Kushina and the Uzumaki clan. Since Kushina is the last remaining member of the Uzumaki clan, she would have the box, which would be currently lying in her home, right? As this would have happened, the Nine Tails attack would have happened as it did in original. The thing with the Nine Tails attack is, as soon as the Nine Tails attack happened, a lot of chakra, a lot of negative QB-isk chakra is released into the ear, and as it is released into the ear, a lot of it chakra of the Nine Tails actually starts going into the box in which Yuaba is sealed at. If you guys do not know, Yuaba in the original actually had the ability to gain all the power of the Quincy's. In this case, since Yuaba is an Otsutsuki, the originator of chakra, Yuaba would actually be able to absorb the Kyuubi's chakra, as the Kyuubi's chakra would be too much for the seal to handle, as it had gotten weakened over time. It would have gotten really weakened over time, and then the seal would completely break. Yuaba would be released, but the thing with this Yuaba is that again all of his chakra had been stripped away. It would take him some time to regain back as all of his chakra, as he would be in a really small he would be in a chakra ghost kind of form. No one can see him. Soon he would search for a vessel in which you can implant the karma seal at. And again, Yuaba is an Otsutsuki, so he pretty much has the karma seal. As Yuaba would go to implant the karma seal on anyone that he can find, soon he would find an orphan boy lying in front of a blonde hair man and red hair woman, as the old man with a helmet on, and the kanji of the third Hokage written on his helmet would be performing a Reaper Dead seal to seal the Nine Tails inside of the two babies that were there. One of them Mito, other than Menma, and the third would be Naruto. As he would see that the boy that was being left out would be the perfect one to be his vessel, as the QB could not interfere in the karma extraction, and he would eventually be able to take over the boy's body. Soon Yuaba would of course go to Naruto and implant his karma on Naruto's body. Once all of this happens, things pretty much go on as they did in the origin. Things would pretty much go on as Naruto and his family would not be in his good terms, as they would not acknowledge him. They would always beat him. They would one day when Naruto asked Minato to train him, Minato would say, "Get out of here, you're not worth my time." And whenever he would come back to the village, come back to his home after being beaten up by the bullies that bullied him for being an outcast of his clan. Kushina would just get even more mad at him, beat him more. Naruto would just sitting in his home and just crying out loud, just wondering why all of this is happening to him. Everything that he has done is he has never done anything wrong or harmed anyone, right? So, and during this 80% of Yuaba's DNA would have already been extracted into Naruto, as it has already been 4 years since all this extraction of karma would have taken place, as in this timeline, there is no karma resonance to boost up Naruto's karma process. It's gonna take as long as it should. Soon, Naruto would decide that he would kill himself. There's no one in the world that loves him. There's no one in the world that cares about him, and he doesn't see living be worth anymore. He just thinks that it is this waste of his time. And maybe in the afterlife, maybe he can meet the third Hokage, and that old man will treat him with kindness. Because Naruto would think that he would soon, slowly but surely, since everyone is sleeping, it's the nighttime. He would go to the kitchen, grab a knife, and then go back to into his room. After Naruto goes back into his room, he takes out his wrist and slices it open. Blood starts to flow out as Naruto's vision starts to get dizzy, but Naruto internally is happy as he can just escape this hellhole of a loop where his parents hate him. People in the village just say that he's an Uzumaki outcast, the failed son of the fourth Hokage, since Naruto does not have any talent, and his chakra reserves are not that high. It seems for an Uzumaki, since Naruto's chakra reserves are not that high. That's the thing I'm changing in this one, since people do need an reason to look down on Naruto. After this happens, after Naruto's vision starts to get blurry and bad, soon a silhouette of Yuaba appears in front of Naruto. Yuaba, scoffs and brings out one of his hand, and soon heals the wound that was in Naruto's hand, and soon he and Naruto wakes up to see in his mindscape where he meets Yuaba. Yuaba would look at the boy and just glaring down at him, and he would start to explain to Naruto about all the history that had happened up to this point. And he would explain to Naruto that he's already like 100% Otsutsuki now, because the 80% of the karma extraction had already happened, but because of the foolish thing that Naruto did, trying to attempt to kill himself, Yuaba could not afford for this to happen, as Naruto, with the death of Naruto, his soul would pretty much extinguish as well. So once that happens, Naruto, Yuaba explains his abilities to Naruto, as Yuaba also says to Naruto that now since he's 80% of Yuaba, he can use the Almighty ability, as but he'll have to train for it. Naruto says to Yuaba that can he become a good man? Can he gain the acknowledgement of his parents and the people in the village? Yuaba, seeing this, just looks at Naruto with disgusted look and just says to him that these people who have treated you so badly, you still want their acknowledgement. Like, grow up. You should have already been grown up with the circumstances that you grew up in. You need to stop thinking like a child, and because the world that you are living in will not let you think like that. What you need to do is become strong and prove them wrong. You need to take your revenge slowly but surely, and that is the best way to do things. And during that time, if you want, you can just fulfill your goals and whatever you want. But remember, if you even slip up for a second, even for a second, I will take over your body and kill everyone on this planet, and plant my Jubi chakra tree, and then just do whatever the fuck I want to. Naruto would just after hearing this, he would just think, he would just be thinking for a few days, and would decide that he wants to become the strongest ninja in the entire world. And soon after some time, Naruto just gets used to his karma seal and Yuhaba's ability of the Almighty. Soon we cut to the academy starts, right? We cut to the academy starting, and here Naruto, along with Menma, Mito, and also a OC character named Yakumo Uchiha is here. She's gonna be the ship for Naruto if things do go on to be better. So since in most of my stories do not focus on romance very much, so yeah, that's that. Soon they start the academy and Naruto is at the top of his class. Naruto, instead of just pretending to be no one, he wants to show the world that he is the guy. He is really good at everything that he does, and people are jealous of him. This outcast the Uzumaki clan, is doing all of this bullshit. Just topping the class. Especially Menma would be very jealous of Naruto, and Sasuke would be very jealous of Naruto. These two would be really jealous of Naruto since they are supposed to be at the top of the class. Sasuke thinking that he's an Uchiha elite and he should be at the top of the class. Meanwhile, Menma would be thinking that he's the child of prophecy and he should be at the top of the class, not this outcast of his clan who's a goddamn loser. So eventually they do end up graduating from the academy, Naruto being at the top of his class. Menma and Sasuke do not accept this as they challenge Naruto to a duel. As they're like, yeah, Naruto, we do not accept you being at the top of the class. We both are special, and we challenge you to a duel. And if we win, you pretty much don't do anything, right? We will be at the top of the class, and you'll be the dead last. Naruto's like, whatever, just come on with it. Naruto, by using a bit of his karma seal, that Minato, who was also watching this, notices that the pattern on Naruto's hand, as it did not went all the way up to his eyes and chest and all that stuff. It was just covering his hand a bit. As Naruto, by using this karma seal boost, would absolutely own Sasuke and Menma's day and light, and they would not even be like a challenge to him. Naruto would not even required to use All Mighty right now because of this whole thing, and eventually they both would get their ass handed to them, and Naruto would just scoff and walk off. And soon teams, after a day, the teams are announced, and for Naruto's team is gonna be Naruto, of course. We have Yakumo Uchiha, Naruto's supposed love interest. She does like Naruto since he's so strong and so mysterious and all that stuff. And last but not least, it is Mito, Naruto's sister, who does not hate him actually. She does not feel anything towards Naruto, right? That's the most accurate description to give her. As all of this would have happened, Naruto would return to his home, and Kushina and Minato would just look at him, just ignore him like they always do, just not even congratulating him on passing the academy and being the rookie of the year. They would just not care. As when Menma and Nita would come home, they would be like, oh honey, just congratulations on passing the academy, we are so proud of you. Naruto, who would listen to this, would just clench his fist as he was grit his teeth. Over these years, instead of trying to earn their respect and all that stuff, Naruto actually starts to hate his family. The only one that he does not really hate is Mito, since she actually does not fully and full on ignore him. She actually does bother to talk to him here and there, but again, she's also pretty much the same as the others, as she does not bother to talk with Naruto that much. Soon teams are announced, and as I said, Naruto, Yakumo, and Mito are gonna be in the same team, and their Jonin sensei is gonna be Shisui Uchiha. As Shisui, Naruto, Yakumo, and Mito would meet, Shisui would ask all of them to introduce themselves. First, Mito would go. Her aspirations would be to be the Hokage, and her likes or dislikes would be her family, and the rapists and perverts would be her dislikes, and then her likes are to be like ramen and pretty much her family, and her goal is to be the first female Hokage. Ichishi would nod to this, be like, okay, that's a pretty good goal. And then he would look at Yakumo, who is his little sister, mind you, As she would start speaking that she loves her big brother, and she wants to become the strongest Uchiha Kunoichi that ever existed. And then she says that she wants to have a family in the future, while saying that she side glances at Naruto, which Shisui does notice, and thinks, she has a crush on him. Okay, that's not bad, not bad. Having the crush on the UK Rookie of the Year, not bad. And then soon he would look at Naruto, and Naruto would start introducing himself. He would say that his name is Naruto, no Uzumaki, no Namikaze, just Naruto. And then his likes are pretty much peace. He likes to read books, just living in a peaceful environment and fighting as well. He loves to fight. And then the things that he dislikes are the Namikaze family. And when he says that, Mito, widens her eyes, as Naruto has never said this directly to their face, that he like sort of hates them. She used to look at this and just as expecting of this to happen, as Naruto is not treated fairly across the village. And Naruto also says that he is not very fond of Konoha in general. So Shisui just keeps in his mind that Naruto might be a flight risk, because of the environment that he grew up in. Soon Shisui would inform them that there's going to be a test tomorrow, and they have to attend the test. All of them would pretty much nod to this, and then Shisui would vanish. Soon the test would happen, and the test would be to land a single blow on Shisui. Like, if they even land a single blow on Shisui, they all pass. And they all pass. The first one to land the blow on Shisui is gonna pass. That's the test, right? Since he has to pit them against each other and see if they can work together. Naruto is the first one to battle Shisui, and him alone. Naruto does use the Almighty in this one to look into the future of, to see, where Shisui would pop up, all the possibilities of the battle turning out. And he, very impressively, even to Shisui, who had to activate his Sharingan because of how fast and strong Naruto is, would be surprised when Naruto would outmaneuver him and pretty much punch him in the stomach so hard that Sisui's eyes would roll out a bit, and he would cough out saliva. Sisui would be forced to teleport a little back and just maintain himself a bit, because the punch was actually really hard. After that, Naruto says that I pass, and Sisui is like, oh yeah, sure, you pass, Naruto. And then after he says that, Naruto would, who's really, really, really smart, would, say to Shisui that, stop the bull crap. He knows that only a 3-man cell with a Jonin sensei can actually be a team in the village, and that, there's no way that Shisui is only passing one of them, that all of them has to be passing. Shisui says, I'm busted, and soon it passes all the team, and they start their mission. Once this happens, the team in which I forgot to mention, but Sakura doesn't exist. She's not even born in this one. So sorry, Sakura is born. I'm so sorry. There's another what if that I'm writing in the dictionary. Sakura is not born. So ignore that. But Sakura is there. So the team which goes after the Wave Village, or the Tazuna, is Kakashi's team, which is Sasuke, Menma, and Sakura. Pretty much the original Team 7. Right? This with instead of Naruto, it's Menma. And once they would arrive, Minato's Sisui's team would arrive there. Minato would say to them, just go as backup for this mission, since it's quite a dangerous mission out there. As he would say that, Naruto and his team would nod, as they would eventually leave the village to back Kakashi and his team up, and they would come across the scene of inside Tazuna's house, where Kakashi's knocked the fuck out, and the Genins are taking care of him. Soon, when they enter the house, Naruto and Menma confront each other since they do not like each other. Menma is pretty much like, hey loser, how dare you enter this mission where the great Menma Uzumaki is, who are doing this mission. And you should not be entering this mission since I am here. You are not needed. You can go back home. And then Naruto pretty much, says to him, oh, if that was the case, the Hokage of the village wouldn't have sent us here. And this angers Menma a little as Naruto is talking back to him, and is quite of winning in this roast battle that they are doing. Naruto pretty much walked past Menma and says that Menma should mind his tongue sometimes, otherwise some people like him really do have low amount of patience, and they will just pull out his tongue and cut it off for him. Menma is extremely offended by the statement. He tries to go after Naruto to fight him, but Shisui stops him, saying that it was his fault, that he eventually was this one who started this argument. Menma pretty much scoffs off, thinking that he's the child of prophecy. How do they oppose him? After all this happens, Kakashi wakes up and then they start their training. Naruto, who's an Otsutsuki 100%, or who has perfect chakra control, knows how to trap clays and water without any sort of difficulty. So that's that. Soon, the battle between Zabuza and everyone happens. In this case, Kakashi takes on Zabuza as he did in the original, and Shisui takes on Haku as Shisui's can handle Haku pretty easily, as they tell the team to pretty much protect Hazuna. Kakashi takes care of Zabuza pretty easily with finishing off with a Chidori, and then Shisui pretty much kills Haku as well. Once all of this mess clears up, then Gato and his men start to appear in the ground, and they're pretty much like just get lost, I will not let this bridge be rebuilt since it will harm our business and all that stuff. Soon, Shisui, who's not exhausted with all of this at all, he shows why he's known as Shisui the Teleporter. And, just slashes and kills everyone there in the bridge. And Kakashi also aids him here and there. And soon, the wave village is the wave mission is over, and the bridge is named the Red Eye Bridge, since the two men with red eyes were the one who saved them, Shisui and Kakashi. They would return to the village, and they would report everything to Minato. Minato would, hear his quarrel between both of his sons, but just send everyone else away, just keeping Menma and Naruto there in the office. He would tell both of them that he would like them to get along and just not fight 24/7. But Naruto would just straight up say it to Minato's face that you've spoiled your brat, just pestering him his entire life, telling him that he's the child of prophecy and whatnot. And right now he thinks that he's on the top of the world and no one can defeat him. He thinks that he's the strongest. And Menma says that I don't think I am the strongest. And Minato pretty much looks at this in shock, and he's like, what the fuck? I didn't know Menma was that arrogant. And then he would tell Naruto to go, and he would have a little bit of chit chat with Menma, and saying to him that that you are not the strongest. Your father, can beat you with both of my arms folded, so you better get your act together, you boy. Otherwise, you're gonna face consequences in the future because of that attitude. Menma would leave the office fumed, as his father is just being a dickhead to him. But that's not what Minato was thinking. He's just trying to lecture his son. But Menma would not take it that way. He would just think that his father is jealous of him because he's not the child of prophecy and whatnot. Since all this nonsense of child of prophecy has been filled in Menma's head since he was 5 or 6 years old. So yeah, because of that. Soon, Naruto, Menma, and Yakuma would be the one to encounter what is his name? Gaara and his team. Menma would be all cocky, saying that he can defeat Gaara and Temari very easily. Meanwhile, Gaara would be would be ignoring Menma and be focusing slowly on Naruto, who's just sitting on the tree branch looking at all of them. And Goro would know that this boy is the real threat. As you know, Chicago instead of Garo would be saying that you would kill this him, kill him. You know, father said that if he comes back, you know, it will be the end of the world, since you know he can sense Ywach's presence inside of Naruto. Soon after all that happens, the first round of the Chunin exam begins. In this first round of the Chunin exams, I really don't even need to go after all of that. Naruto sees all the possibilities of, you know, all the answers that it can occur on this test paper, and you know all the possibilities overall, and this passes the test with the help of Almighty really easily. You know, Yakumo with her Sharingan copies the answers, and then Mita is, let's just say, she pretty much does the same thing that Naruto did in canon, and they all pass the test. Menma and his team also pass the test. Sakura has the brains, Sasuke has the Sharingan, and Menma pretty much does the same thing that the original Naruto did, not answering any question. Just his guts alone is the reason that he passes the exam's first round. Now we cut to the second round of the Chunin exams, in which again the Uchiha clan is alive, so Orochimaru does not have a specific reason to attack Sasuke or Yakumo in this one. So the second round of the Chunin exam goes without any interference, as it should have been gone, and Naruto and his team are the first ones to arrive, since Naruto pretty much gets the scroll within after landing in the Chunin exams, second forest of that, like 1 minute, and he's already got the scroll. And then he and his team sort of rush towards the tower, and then they are the first one to arrive. They're breaking the record that previously Itachi had set. Soon, all the other teams arrive in the exam as well, and they're all collected. And then Minato pretty much gives a speech saying, why the Chunin exams are conducted in the first place. That is to establish a good relationship between the other villages and the Konoha, and so that, the peace can be formed sooner or later in the future. Had this would have happened, Naruto would, start, he would not hear Minato's speech at all. He would just look around to see which was team he had passed. He would see Menma's team pass, Team 9, that is, Shikamaru's team would have passed, Kiba's team would have passed, the weird jump suit team would have passed, Lee's team, that is, and then last but not least, Kabuto's team and Dosu's team would have passed. All this would have happened, and the second round of the Chunin exams, that is the preliminaries around what we have happened. All the fights, except for few, would pretty much go the same. Naruto would have battled Sasuke in this one. Naruto versus Sasuke would begin, and Naruto would act as Sasuke, who was the three Tomoe Sharingan, because of his training with his brother and his father, which is pretty hard. Who are pretty hard on him, would unlock his three Tomoe Sharingan, and he would be fighting Naruto with that. But the thing that Sasuke pretty much thinks that he can see the future with his Sharingan, but the thing is that Almighty can actually see every single possibility that is happening in the future, and not only that, he can change the outcome of the future as well, the way he sees fit. So in this one, Naruto saw a few possibilities. One in which Sasuke actually lands a few blows on him, and they pretty much trade blows. And then the second one in which Naruto actually uses a bit of his All Might power and destroys Sasuke utterly completely. And then third round in which he actually uses the Karma Seal a bit, and then not a bit, but actually using it quite a bit, would absolutely destroy Sasuke. So Naruto thinks, okay, which one should I go with? Okay, I'll go with the Karma Seal option, since that is the most likely. So Naruto activates his Karma Seal, and this time, since it reaches across his face, everyone sees this strange mark across Naruto. They would think it is some kind of curse seal, but everyone would notice that there is no negative field of Orochimaru in the curse seal that Naruto is using. Naruto would absolutely and utterly destroy Sasuke by using his karma seal. And since Sasuke would try to, throw some kind of jutsus on him, and Naruto would, just absorb that via his karma seal, and then, Sasuke would, get his ass handed to him. Naruto versus Sasuke is over, so Naruto wins. Menma versus Kiba would have happened, which Menma wins with low difficulty, since Menma, even if I like to slander him, he is quite strong for a Genin. Mito versus Sakura would have happened, and that pretty much goes really bad for her. Sakura, and then Ino versus Yakuma would have happened, and pretty much gets her ass handed to her as well. So the people who pretty much passed the tuning exams preliminary rounds are the Sand team, which are Gora, Konkuro, and Temari, Shikamaru, and then of course Shino, and then of course Yakumo, and Mito, Menma, and last but not least, Naruto. These are the people who have passed the Chunin exams round, and also Neji. I forgot to mention Neji as well. So these are the people who passed the Chunin exam preliminary rounds, and we cut to pretty much 1 month training happens. As during this 1 month training, Minos actually just talks with Naruto, about his karma seal and all that stuff. And Naruto pretty much tells him that, if he would have paid quite a bit of attention to him, he would have noticed that he had this power from the moment that he was birthed. And Minato would be like, I didn't notice. I'm so sorry. But Naruto would just say, the fuck off, man. You have not paid attention to me in my entire life, and now you're pretending like you care. Just don't even start. And then Minato would just hang his head around in shame, as he would, say to himself, he was like, even a good father, I was just a scumbag on the face of the earth, just preferring my other 2 children who have the 9 tails, thinking that they will be the child of prophecy, and ignoring my other son because of that. Soon Jiraiya would arrive at the village to train Menma and Mito, and they would learn the Rasengan, the summoning jutsu, and whatnot, right? Yakumo would be training with Shisui, where she would have created a jutsu of her own, which would be named the Fire Blade. It's very similar to Chidori, but instead of, it's created with fire element, as it has fire and wind mix in it, with the properties of wind, which can cut anything, and fires which can burn anything. So that is good. Once all of this happens, the first round of the Chunin exam begins. Menma versus Neji takes place, and Menma, via using his 9-tails chakra, pretty much wins against Neji. The second round is Mito versus Naruto. This would be a one-sided stomp, as whenever Mito lands a hit on Naruto instantly, somehow in some way heals instantly. Like, it's not even fear, and it's always like Naruto already knows what's gonna happen in the future. And Naruto, when Mito actually tries to even land a Rasengan on Naruto straight up tanks it, and then just says that, oh, was that supposed to hurt anyways? And then after that, Naruto actually starts to beat down on Mito by using some of his actual power, the Quincy powers, and then he just beats down on her, and then pins her down in the on the wall with blue color arrows, piercing all around her body, and she's just just knocked the fuck out at this stage. Blood coming out of her mouth and all that stuff. Soon, the medics come in and take Mito away really quick. The third round of the Chunin exam begins with Temari versus Shikamaru. This goes pretty much the same. The fourth round of the Chunin exam begins, which is Shino versus Yakumo. In this case, Yakumo can pretty much see Shino's bug via her Sharingan. So she wins off Shino with no problem as she sort of burns all of Shino's bug with her and fire style jutsu. Soon, the next and the second round of the Chunin exam begins, and you might be wondering, what happened with the Gara fight. The Gara fight actually didn't happen. Seeing Gara's performance in the first or the preliminary rounds of the Chunin exams against Rock Lee, they decided that Gara should actually be the one to just be given the lucky draw and be sent to the second round of the Chunin exams directly, since there are odd number of genins. As all of this happens, Gara, I forgot to sorry, Sino versus him, and Gara versus Conqueror actually happens in the second round of the Chunin exams, which Conqueror immediately gives up. He does not want to fight Gara at all. The other round, the second round of the Chunin exam, second battle happens, which is Yakumo, ding ding ding, versus Temari, in which Yakumo absolutely destroys Temari. It's not even a contest. So yeah. And then the last round of the Chunin exam, the third round of the Chunin exam happens, which is Menma versus Naruto. This is again a one-sided stomp. It's not like it's pretty much the same thing that happened with Mito is gonna happen with Menma. He'll try to use his Nine Tails chakra because he is sort of hateful towards Naruto, unlike Mito, and then just try to kill Naruto then and there, but it will not work. Whenever Menma would actually kill Naruto, Naruto would just spawn back into reality in some different place, and just be like, oh, did he actually kill me? Just think again. Menma would think, is this some kind of genjutsu that is happening on him? He tries to break free, but nothing changes, and Naruto eventually wrecks his ass, and then Naruto wins. So right now we have three odd number of genin who are in the Chunin exams round. One is Gara, second is Naruto, and the third is Yakumo. So they decide to go on a three-way final round of the Chunin exams. Before the battle could start, Orochimaru actually invades the village with all of the stuff, and Genjutsu takes place and whatnot. Orochimaru actually starts to fight Minato and gets his ass handed to him. Sorry, but you're not defeating the Yellow Flash, I believe. And then soon, Naruto, along with the others, Genin stop Gara. As Naruto, just explains to Gara that that he is not the only one that has been ostracized in the village. Not his parents absolutely hating his guts, and if he tries to look around, there are people that actually love and care for him, unlike him, who has literally no one in his life. As Menma said, Naruto says that Gara realizes that his siblings has always loved him. They were always beside him, and whatnot. After the invasion is over, everything pretty much happens pretty much the same. The funeral is held for everyone that has been killed during this period of time. The Akatsuki, with the likes of Itachi and Kisame, since Itachi is present in the village, do not invade the village, since there is no need for them to do so, since the only reason that Itachi and Kisame came to the village in the first place was to actually warn Danzo of Itachi's existence, and that he is still very much a threat. In this case, that's not going to be the case, since there is no need for Itachi to come to the village. The second thing that happens is Minato sends Jiraiya and Menma and along with Mito to go after Tsunade, since the people in the village really do need her. And then they bring back Tsunade, and Orochimaru is killed. Minato actually killed his ass. Since Minato is a lot stronger because he was left alive for a longer period of time, he had time to train his ass and master Sage more in actual way, in which Minato did master Sage mode. and right now he's like the strongest man alive, like except for Naruto, right? So Minato is pretty goddamn strong, whether you want to believe it or not. So the second thing, or the third thing that happens is Naruto actually starts to plan his betrayal for Konoha. Naruto has actually changed his plan. He wants to become the ruler of this world, and why is that? Yuhaba's influence. Just think of it as that, right? As that happens, what people did not know is that Naruto's will is really strong right now. He's at as full as he can, but he has full control and he can swap in and out with Yuaba anytime that he likes. So Naruto has really big plans for that, since he does not have full control over All Might, and Yuaba does. And when Yuaba does use Naruto's body, he's like extremely powerful. So all that happens, and we come to time skip, which I'm gonna cover in the next part, in which Naruto actually does betray the Hidden Leaf Village, goes rogue, and everyone in the world is actually hunting Naruto down, since he's the most manted one alive. And that is just a bit of a sneak peek of what's gonna happen in the next part of this what if. And yeah, hopefully you guys like this what if, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video and share this video with many of your friends as possible, since we want the channel to grow and grow and grow. So yeah, hopefully you guys are having a really nice day. Until then, see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.